YouTube, this is Matthew Morgan coming to make another video. And this one has to do with human free will and what God has to do with it. So just to put it this way, what free will essentially is God giving humanity the ability to make choices based off of what you think, based off what you as a person think something is, isn't, should be, should not be, how something should go and how it shouldn't go. So here's what God has to do with it. God has his will, man got his. Now, God could just shut all this free will stuff down at any time he chooses to. But because he's not human, God keeps his word no matter what the case. And that means he'll sit in the heavens and try to try to help mankind better itself through signs, wonders. He might send his teachers from the heavens down to earth to help man better itself and put them in different places, or cause a certain situation to happen on earth just to see a person, see where their heart is. Like this pandemic, for a prime example. I'm not saying God created it, but I am saying he allowed it to happen for he wants to see man better itself. And God knows there's only one way for the human race to better itself. It's when the human race don't have a choice. Let me say that again. When God gives humanity choices, they always pick wrong because they have a choice to do it wrong or right. So the one thing the mind of God understands is the only way my children will learn to do right is if I allow everything to go horribly wrong. Then and only then will they understand. Now you ain't got a choice to do wrong or right. Now you can either do wrong and everything will go wrong, or you'll just suffer till you learn how to do right. Again, that's why you see all these people passing away very, very consistently every day, every hour, all the time. God just simply did what he knew needed to be done. He called almost all his followers off the face of this earth, so that way humanity doesn't have all these, all these stepping stones and teachers and lights in dark places. Mankind, since you don't have them lights in dark places, now you have to learn how to adapt to a dark time without light. And see who's willing to step up and be the light that is not there anymore, basically. But to get to the point of the whole free will situation, God cannot force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. He cannot force humans to be good or evil. He cannot force that. He can't force no one to follow him. He cannot force anything on a person. Now, people be like, oh, he's God, he can do whatever he wants. That's not the point of free will. Of course, he's God Almighty. Nigga, you can't tell God what he can and can't do. Nigga, he can snap his fingers and turn your ass into dust. There ain't shit you can say to God. But God, like Jesus, their point is not to flex their might. Their point is to teach people how to do things without being all uppity about how powerful you are. And God's thing is, he goes by what's needed, not what's wanted. Like, for example, if man needs to go through a dark time to better itself, dark time. If someone in your life needs to pass away for you to do better, plan their funeral. If someone needs to get sick in order for someone else to appreciate their health, go to the hospital. Now here's the once. If you want God to give you something, just know you need to understand it's going to cost you because it's a bad idea. Or it ain't even the fact that it's a bad idea. It's just a learning experience in general. Oh, I'm tired. Anyway, yeah, so it's just a learning experience in general. So, he is gonna, how you say, whisper in your ear, or he might send someone to you as a way of telling you, whatever you're about to do, don't do it. Now, the only thing about God versus humanity, God is a spiritual being, which means he operates by the Spirit. In other words, he's not concerned about the flesh of humans. He's worried about the spirit. So, if you ever wonder how does God speak to you, he doesn't speak to your flesh, he speaks to your spirit. So whenever you want an answer from him for any particular purpose, he will not speak to your flesh. He's going to speak to your spirit or your heart. And that's usually where you get them vibes of don't do this, don't do that, something's wrong, leave. Someone's up to no good around you, something's about to happen. If you ever get that little tingle on your body where something's telling you don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that, that's wrong, don't do, that's him. Or possibly an angel, maybe Jesus or your loved one, some spiritual being of the light trying to tell you whatever you're doing is wrong, don't do it. Or an event may occur, like say for example, you plan to do something a particular way and it don't go the way you want it to. This is the way you have to see it. God can orchestrate certain things to go a certain way if he sees something that might go wrong. Now, he can put his hand in situations to stop certain things from happening a particular way, but that does not mean you can still find a way to still obstruct what he's doing and do what you want. But just understand, if you do, he's keeping you from a bad time. So if you decide to go against him anyway and still do it, just know there's a bad ending coming for that purpose. But anywho, God is not willing to break his word about free will for any purpose at all. Now, he's willing to adjust certain things, but break his free will, he's not going to do that. So people always ask, oh, this world is so wicked, this world is so evil, why won't God do anything about it? This is what y'all fail to understand. God may have molded this world, but this is not God's planet. This world belongs to the devil, not God. This world is what you call a chess game. God and the devil are always making moves against each other. No, I'm sorry, Jesus and Lucifer, they're always making moves against each other all the time, every day. That's why you notice more bad than good happens. It's rare when you see something good, but it's better when you do. Because Lucifer is taking this world by storm, and Lucifer is trying to destroy this world in any way just to piss off God and make him snap. Because that's the one thing that he wants to do, because the Father told Lucifer eons ago that there is absolutely Nathaniel you can do to make me punish humanity. So Lucifer's like, oh really? So you don't think I can get you to snap? He's like, no. Why? Because he loves his children too much. So he, meaning Lucifer, is trying to do whatever he can to make God angry. That's why you see all this sin in the world speeding up, so that God eventually snaps and just says, fuck it, and just ruins and destroys every damn thing. But God being omniscient, omnivorous, and omnipotent, he doesn't get angry because he knows, he sees, and he's all powerful, so there's nothing he ain't aware of. So yeah, but anyway, God's only purpose is to better mankind without trying to flex his might. So if you wonder why this world's so wicked and only so much good comes out of it, it's because, simply put, God may have made this world, but this world is not God's. This world, we as humanity was put on to make our own decisions based off of what we see or what we know. We have to go off of that. And God will put signs in your way, or people, situations, whatever, so you see it for yourself, and you as a human have to decide what you're going to do once that sign or that situation is put in front of you. Are you going to allow it to make you better and wiser so you can make the world a better, wiser place? Or are you going to use the situations to become evil and dark and ruin the world more? All God does is put the sign or the situation there. Or sometimes Lucifer, same thing, just to see if you'll become light or dark, wise or evil. It's the same thing. That's literally what free will is. It's man's ability to choose what you will do in this life and how you will go about it. Only thing about that is your actions have consequences. So if you do something, a couple of things I'm going to tell you. And these are ones you need to learn to respect, whether or not you believe in them. Just do not piss them off, or you will regret the day your ass was born. I am so serious. The devil, he can ruin your ass big time. He's just being nice. Just trust me, he's a lot more powerful than you think. He's just, just fucking with people for the time being. There is what you call the spirit of Mother Nature. Don't piss her off, because you see how the season's been, and she can make it a lot worse. Karma, respect karma at all times, because karma can ruin you in ways that you can't even imagine. Jesus, because he's a very powerful deity, but he chooses to be very humble with his power. And, of course, God, because, well, you know, if you don't know, you'll find out when you meet him. But anyway, just in general, do not disrespect anything you do and don't understand. Point blank, Oh yeah, and also respect the spirit and the power of death. Because there's things about death you ain't taught. So just know you learn to respect these things and you'll be fine. Not to say stuff won't happen to you, but don't be pissing off something you don't know nothing about. Leave it alone. Stay in your place as a human. Do not piss anything off that you know nothing about. Don't do it. Leave it alone. Anyway, and just to throw out a deep teaching, there are those that God will send down in the human form, but they are angels disguised as human. They come to earth to be the light, or people that seek to do nothing but good no matter what they have to risk to get it done. So if you ever wonder why there's certain people on earth with with personalities that bring you joy, just know those are God's angels disguised as humans that bring the world light. And as the other side. So yeah. And only reason that you don't know is because they're not allowed to tell you who they're for, what side they're on. They can't reveal that to you. The only thing they can do is come on earth, do what they're meant to do, test you, try you, teach you, and see what you do. Because there's a lot of spiritual warfare going on this earth every day, all day, and it just done got worse over time. So basically the point to it all is, whose side you on, the dark or the light? Doesn't mean God's ever going to be angry at you. Doesn't mean God's going to be mad if you don't choose his side. It's understandable, because walking with God is hella hard. Because you don't... See, here's the thing people try to realize about walking with God. You might do good your whole life, and shit may happen all the time that you don't know why or understand. Good may happen to you once out of 10 times. Bad may happen to you 10 times, while good happens once. That's why walking with God is so hard, because his road carries to do good, try to do good, always do good, always do good. But it's hard to do good in a world full of evil, so it's like you pretty much give up your mind, your body, and your soul trying to make this world a better place to live, while you got people by the days not caring about that stuff anymore, because they see less and less of God on this earth, the worse it gets. So for those who decide to walk with God, it's a much harder experience to deal, because it's like, what's the point? The things are getting worse. People are not learning. I sacrifice so much and nothing good is coming my way. Or something good may happen every once in a while, but it gets diminished by all the bad. Then after a while, you're just like, screw it, what's the point? Just know one thing, in the end of all this, it will count, it will matter, and it will add up to something good. So I just want that to be known. And God has a plan for why he allows all this to happen. So don't think he's just sitting in the background watching, like, I ain't see that coming. Should have done that better. Yeah, I definitely could have done that. I definitely could have did that better. No, that's not what everything that's happening is already written in the scrolls. It's already wrote down. It's already prophesied. It's all supposed to happen the way it's happening. So just be aware of that. But as the beginning of the video I stated, that free will is what God gave humans the choice to be on the right or the wrong. how much good you see versus how much bad, how much light versus how much dark, and what you choose to do with it. Either you're going to let the dark make you light, or you're going to let the light, for some odd reason, make you dark. I don't know why, but it will. So, yeah, and that's all I got to say about that one. Goodbye.